Everyone, this is Indu. I hope you are doing well. In today's video, we will discuss top six scenario ways for an interview question. So our first question will be how do you implement API versioning in the ASP.NET Core Web API? So it's a very important question. So to implement this, firstly we need to install these packages asp.versioning.mbc and microsoft.asp.net core.mbc.versioning, and after that this configuration we need to set in our program.cs file, and after that in controller we will define which version of this API. For example, you have a same controller and you can give the different version, so like that way you can define the versions here. Or yeah, you can see here two method. In the one method, we can get a different response. In the second method, we will get a different response here. So like that way, we can implement API versioning, and I will also explain you here. For example, here we can implement API versioning. So firstly, we need to install these two packages. These two packages for the API versioning, these two packages we are added here. Then we can add this configuration in program.cs file here. This configuration here we can give the format, like will be like that way, v1 v2 v3 like that way. And by default it will be start from v1. So these default configuration we can do here. And so like that way we can implement here. And also you can see here we can define the version, which version we are using here. And this is the v2, so here we can define v2 version here, version 2 here. So like that way we can implement API versioning. And our next question is, what is the difference between app use and app run? So app use add a middleware to the pipeline. So it will be called the next pipeline, or that called the next delegate, and it's a pass through component. It can do work before and after calling the next middleware. And another thing is app.Run. This is a terminal middleware. It does not call the next, so it ends the pipeline right here. Anything registered after app run never executes. So you can see here your app run will be always in the last here. So this is your last. After this, no pipeline will be execute here. Next question is, how do we implement file upload? So with the help of iForm file, we can able to upload file in web API, and we can use this iForm file, and then we can use the extension, and then here we can upload the file. So for the multiple file, we can use iForm file collection and a list iForm file. For the large files stream directly, we can stream directly instead of buffering with the help of request.form.files buffer in the memory. For the big uploads, use multi-part reader to stream to the DEX and blob storage for the avoid memory pressure. And next question is, how do we secure to allow authenticated user? So we can use JWT via authentication, and this same authentication we can add in our program.cs file. So you can see here. Okay. So this thing we need to add in our program.cs file, and here you can add the policies, and this middleware we can add here. Let me show you. Okay. So you can see here. This thing we need to add in our program.cs. Here it will be validate all the things, and after that we will add here new middleware, that is here app.use authentication. This is a pre-built middleware. When you can create this project, this middleware you need to add here. So most commonly we can use GLTBR authentication here, and must come before authorization, so we can add this middleware. And above our API we can write this authorize, and for example policy based authorization, so then we can add the policy role based. So other points will be mentioning HTTP secure, and for the long session we can use a refresh token, and these all the setting or configuration we can store in our here app setting.json file. All the configuration we can put here. Okay. Next question is how do we handle exception handling? So with the help of we can create this custom logic or custom code. With the help of this, we can add this middleware in a program.cs file. For example, here we are created here custom middleware. This middleware I will create it here, go to definition. So if any request, every request will be go from here, and it will be check. If we get any error here, it directly throw the error here. For example, if you status code conflict not found, before hitting your controller, it will check here is any unwanted error or correlated error, so it will be throw error here. So this thing we also need to register here in the program.cs file. So here we can add this global handling exception middleware with the help of app.use middleware, and then we can pass that custom middleware that we created. So like that way we can implement exception middleware. And next, how do we implement pagination? So this is also very important, and sometime in the interview they will ask you write the formula. So this is the formula to write to implement the pagination here. So I will show you here. So for handling the pagination searching, firstly what we can do here, we can create this wait a minute. Okay, here we can make one class that is a page result. Here we can define all the things: page number, page size, dot number, record, and result. And here we can use, firstly we can fetch all the record as not tracking. So because we are just getting data from the database, so we are not tracking that changes order by descending. We get that list. After that we can get total count, and after that. Uh, we can select that user, and then we can pass the result and this thing. Okay, here we are simply get the record, not implement fully pagination and searching. Let me check. Okay, here we are implement. Okay, so here we can pass the pay size, pay number, and search. Firstly, we can find that record. After that, we can filter that record, search that record with the help of name, phone number, username, and then we can. So this is the important formula to implement the pagination. Query dot skip page number -1 and multiply page size and take the page size. So like that way, it's a very important. Sometime interview they will ask you simple query to write how to implement apply pagination. So this is the way to implement pagination here. Okay, so this is the top six scenario based .NET interview question. Next important question, I think that is the what is a JWT flow? How it will be validated, how header payload and signature will be created, how we can verify when we can client send the token. That is also very important question. Okay, so this is done for today class or today video. If you like this video, please like, share, and comment. Thank you.